This teaching of seasons of rejoicing or season of rejoicing, it's a very important teaching. But you can only get it if first you understand the importance of seasons. Because if you don't understand the importance of seasons, you will trivialize what God is doing. You will think it's normal. You will think it's kawaida. The moment you trivialize seasons, they will trivialize you. And that is why God will take you maybe through pain for you to have an understanding of seasons. Sorry. For you to have an understanding of seasons. The importance, knowing the importance of seasons. That's why the writer of this book of Ecclesiastes chapter 3, he says, there is a season for everything, every activity under the heaven. And when you understand that seasons come and seasons go, then you will not trivialize seasons. In the book of 2 Samuel chapter 6, verse 14, it talks about David dancing. The Bible says, and David danced before the Lord. Watch that. David danced before the Lord. There were people around, but he danced before the Lord because the Ark of the Covenant was finally coming to rest in Jerusalem. Pay attention. David danced before the Lord with all his might, and David was gathered with a linen ephod. So David and all the house of Israel brought up the Ark of the Lord with shouting and with the sound of the trumpet. Pay attention. And as the Ark of the Lord came into the city of David, Michal's daughter looked through a window and saw King David leaping and dancing before the Lord, and she despised him in her heart. Look at that. So David is dancing before the Lord, and he doesn't care what people will say. And the wife sees him dancing before the Lord and despises him, mocks him, or despises him. If you look at verse 20, then David returned to bless his household, and Michal, the daughter of Saul, came out to meet David and said, how glorious was the king of Israel today. How glorious. Smoking. That's mockery. How glorious was the king of Israel today, who uncovered himself today in the eyes of all the handmaids of his servants. She's so concerned what women will see when the clothes of David come down. She's so concerned what maids will say when they see a man of high ranking like David, a king in Israel. Oh. David understood the season. That's why he was dancing with boldness. It was 20 years. The Ark of the Covenant was far away. And when he attempted the first time to bring the Ark of the Covenant, God killed somebody because the procedures were not followed. The guy tried to touch, against the rules of the game. Watch this. When finally God is in Jerusalem, David dances. He understood the season. He danced before the Lord. That is why he answers. David said unto Michal, it was before the Lord. When she mocked him, David says, it was before the Lord that I danced. Who chose me before thy father? Or who chose me in the place of your father? Yeah. It was before the Lord who chose me before your father. He didn't care of anything because he understood it was his season. When you know it's your season, it doesn't matter what people say. It doesn't matter how they mock you. It doesn't matter. When it's your season to rejoice, you don't joke. You don't joke. You don't allow anyone to fool you around. You don't allow anyone to distract you. He didn't care of anything. He didn't care. He had walked through the pain of not having the ark around in Jerusalem. 20 years, the ark was away. And finally, the ark of the covenant represented God, having God home, having God in the capital of the land. David had gone through the pain. He knew the pain was over. He knew now God will be here. And he had to rejoice. He knew it's my season. He didn't care if the clothes got down. He didn't care. All he did, he rejoiced because he knew it's the season, it's the time. That's why he danced with boldness. You need it. You need boldness. The true children that God has called them to do his assignment. They always know the season because of what God has made them to go through. Yeah. Those that God has called, they always have an understanding. They always know the season because of what God has made them to go through. The training of pain, the training that they needed to know that that's why they are always alert to know that time is over and that now it's time to rejoice. I want to tell somebody, God has taken you through a training of pain. And now you, after undergoing the training of pain, this one makes you know the time is over for pain and it's time for you to rejoice. And when it's time for you to rejoice, you don't even allow destruction. You don't allow yourself to be distracted. You don't allow discouragement. It is at this moment when boldness and courage is activated in the lives of God's children. It's your time to rejoice. People may not understand. The wife of David, Michal, did not understand why David is dancing with so much boldness. He had gone through pain. And David understood it's time. It's my season to rejoice now. My father is in the capital. The God of heaven and earth is in the capital. Why would you not dance? Why would you mock David dancing boldly until clothes go down? So people may not understand them, but they know it. They know it. Listen, when you know it, when you know it, don't allow people to distract you. When you know it, don't allow anybody to distract you. People may laugh at you, but it doesn't matter. People may mock you, but does it matter? It doesn't. You don't care because you know it. Let boldness, let courage be activated in your life. I want to make an announcement, just one announcement. I did a video because God spoke to me to do it, of what happened to our church a few months ago. In the month of June, there were demonstrations in our country, Kenya. Our church is in the capital, Nairobi. As a result of it, it turned chaotic and, some buildings were burnt down in the capital. And one of the buildings that were burnt down was the building where we had rented church. It's called Sunbeam Shopping Complex. And we lost everything. Everything was burnt down to ashes. And God told me, son, ask people for donations because it's time to rebuild. Listen, it is time to rebuild. It's time to rejoice. And the Lord told me, son, ask for people of willing heart who can donate and give towards the rebuilding of God's work. We need to buy many things because we lost everything. I ask you, my brothers and sisters, if you can spare anything, small or big, that you can donate towards God's work, go to that video that I pinned, the first video that I pinned on my Facebook account. Sorry, on my TikTok account, sorry. Here on TikTok, you will see that video. You will see what happened to our church. You will see how it was, how it happened after. And you will see the giving details there. You will see the church account, how you can give from any part of this world. If you realize you have issues with giving from any part of the world to us, you can DM me, you can take my number, you can call me, you can WhatsApp me. You can ask for directions and I'll be able to speak to you. I'll give you directions on how to give your donations towards God's work. Meanwhile, the Lord bless you. The Lord favor you.